Imagine standing at Mount Sinai. The covenant has been established, the laws have been given, and now God closes his instructions with something deeply personal. What happens when someone voluntarily makes a special vow to dedicate something to him? The Lord tells Moses to speak to the people of Israel about these voluntary vows. If someone dedicates a person to the Lord's service through a vow, the priest is to assign a monetary value based on that person's age and sex. This value isn't about a person's worth as a human being. It's a standard used for fulfilling a vow. For a male between 20 and 60 years old, the value is 50 shekels of silver according to the sanctuary standard. For a female of the same age, it is 30 shekels. For boys between 5 and 20 years old, the value is 20 shekels. For girls of that age, it is 10 shekels. For children from 1 month old up to 5 years old, a boy is valued at 5 shekels of silver, and a girl at 3 shekels. For those 60 years old and above, a man is valued at 15 shekels, while a woman is valued at 10 shekels. But God also makes provision for those who cannot afford these amounts. If someone is too poor to pay the assigned value, they are to appear before the priest. The priest will determine a fair amount based on what that person is actually able to pay. God expects faithfulness, not impossible financial burdens. Next, God turns to animals that someone might dedicate to him. If the animal is one that is acceptable as a sacrifice, then once it has been given to the Lord, it becomes holy. The owner cannot substitute another animal for it, whether trying to exchange a good animal for a poor one, or a poor one for a better one. If someone does make an exchange anyway, then both the original animal and the replacement belong to the Lord. If the animal is one that cannot be offered as a sacrifice because it is ceremonially unclean, it must be brought before the priest. The priest will determine its value, whether it is considered valuable or not, and that decision stands. If the owner later wants it back, they must pay its assessed value plus an additional 20%. The same principle applies to a person's house. If someone dedicates a house to the Lord, the priest examines it and determines its value, whether it is of high or low quality. Whatever value the priest assigns remains official. If the owner wants to reclaim the house, the redemption price is the estimated value plus an extra 20%, and then the house belongs to the owner again. God then explains what happens if someone dedicates part of an inherited field to him. The value is calculated according to how much seed the land requires to plant it. A homer of barley seed is valued at 50 shekels of silver. If the field is dedicated immediately after the year of Jubilee, the full estimated value is paid. But if it is dedicated sometime after Jubilee, the priest adjusts the price based on how many years remain until the next Jubilee. The fewer the years remaining, the lower the value. If the original owner later wants to redeem the field, the redemption cost is the estimated value plus 20%, and the field remains his. However, if the owner chooses not to redeem it, or has already sold the field to someone else, it can never be redeemed again. When the next year of Jubilee arrives, that field permanently becomes holy to the Lord, like property that has been fully devoted to him, and from that point forward it belongs to the priests. God also addresses fields that were purchased rather than inherited. If someone dedicates a purchased field, the priest calculates its value only until the next year of Jubilee. The owner pays that amount as a holy offering to the Lord. When Jubilee comes, the land returns to the family that originally inherited it, because God had permanently assigned Israel's inherited lands to their original tribes and families. Throughout all of these transactions, every value is measured by the sanctuary shekel, which equals 20 gerahs. The standard is fixed and consistent. God then gives an important exception. No one can dedicate the firstborn of the livestock because it already belongs to the Lord. Whether it is an ox or a sheep, it is already his by right. If the firstborn is an unclean animal, it may be redeemed by paying the priest's estimated value, plus an additional 20%. If it is not redeemed, it is to be sold according to the priest's valuation. Then comes another category entirely. Anything that has been completely devoted to the Lord, whether it is a person, an animal, or a field. Once something has been devoted in this special way, it cannot be sold and it cannot be bought back. It is considered most holy to the Lord. If a person has been devoted under this kind of irreversible judgment, that individual cannot be redeemed and must be put to death. Finally, God speaks about tithes. Every 10th part of the produce from the land, whether grain or fruit, belongs to the Lord. It is holy to Him. If someone wants to redeem part of that tithe instead of giving it directly, the redemption price is the value of the tithe plus an additional 20%. The same rule applies to livestock. As animals pass under the shepherd's rod for counting, every 10th animal belongs to the Lord. The owner is not to inspect whether that 10th animal is especially good or especially poor, nor may it be exchanged for another. If an exchange is attempted, then both animals become holy to the Lord, and neither one may be redeemed. The chapter concludes by reminding the reader that these are the commandments the Lord gave Moses for the people of Israel at Mount Sinai. They serve as the closing instructions of the book of Leviticus, emphasizing that vows should be made carefully, promises to God should be honored faithfully, and everything dedicated to Him is to be treated as holy. Only use piano music and historical photos from biblical time. No cartoon-looking slides, no pictures inside of a church.